During every Phillies game, each Philly that homers receives a free case of Tasty Cake, and the same goes for every Phillies winning pitcher. And you can win up to $10,000 in the Daily News home run payoff. Today's payoff inning will be the fifth. We're ready to start the ball game. For play-by-play, let's call in Harry Callis.
All right, thank you, Andy. Good afternoon, everyone. Dave Cash leading off. Looks at a strike called on the outside corner. Cash hitting at 280. Jim Kaat's next delivery is a fastball there for a strike called, and he's in front of Cash quickly, 0-2. Time called by Cash. 0-2 the count to him. He'll be followed by Warren Cromartie, then Andre Dawson. The two-strike pitch. Didn't miss by much. A breaking ball low. It's 1-2. Now Kaat is set. Cash is not. He calls time. A ball and 2 strikes to count to Dave Cash. 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside. It's 2-2. Ozzie Virgil coaches at third. Billy Gardner at first for Dick Williams. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. Bowa, long run. Great grab, low throw. Gets by Johnstone into the photographer's booth. And Cash will take second base. That'll be an infield single for Dave Cash, and he'll move to second on the throwing error on Larry Bowa.
That was a great play by Bowa, but he couldn't make a throw, couldn't make an accurate throw, certainly. Threw it way wide at first.
So Dave Cash at second base, nobody out. It'll bring on Warren Cromartie. Cromartie hitting at 284. Kaat's pitch to him, swinging a drive to left field. Luzinski back, can't get it over his head. It bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And the Expos are quickly on the board, 1-0 on Cromartie's run batted in double. Montreal leads at 1-0. Still nobody out here in the first.
Well, Cromartie had a tough doubleheader against right-hand pitching. He was hitless in both games, but he gets against a left-hander and popped the ball hard to left field.
Here's Andre Dawson, the center fielder, hitting at 281. Pitch to him is low for a ball. 1-0 to count to Dawson. Expos have a run in, nobody out. Cromartie at second base. Pitch to him, he committed himself on a slider that was low and inside. The count is 1-1 to Andre Dawson. One pitch, a change-up curveball, missed a little bit inside. Count is 2-1. Kaat's 2-1 pitch is outside, ball 3. It's 3-1. Cromartie second base, nobody out. Pitch on the way, line drive left field. Luzinski there makes the catch. Well hit by Dawson, caught by the bull. That's 1 down, and that'll bring up Tony Perez. Tony hitting 274, 10 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Pitch to Perez, slow curveball, high for a ball. Now the stretch by Kaat, and the pitch, pop foul out of play. 1-1 the count to Tony Perez. Tony coming to the Montreal Expos from the Cincinnati Reds in the deal that sent Dale Murray and Woody Fryman to Cincinnati. Now the pitch, fastball inside, it's 2-1. Fryman, of course, has since quit baseball. Murray has had his problems at Cincinnati. 2-1 to Perez. Cromartie second base and 1 out. Pitch to him is inside ball 3, and Kaat falls behind him 3-1. This is Kaat's first start against Montreal. He's appeared twice previously against the Expos in relief with no decisions. 3-1 pitch. Line drive left center field, in the gap and all the way back to the fence. Cromartie scores. Perez on his way to second base and goes in standing with a double. So the Expos lead it 2-0. Single by Cash, doubles by Cromartie and Perez. With one out, it'll bring up Gary Carter. Carter is hitting .274. 19 home runs. He's knocked in 54 runs. The pitch to Carter is over for a strike called. 1 strike to Gary Carter. Next pitch to him is low for a ball. It's 1-1. One pitch on the way. Check swing, line drive, foul down the first base side. So the count is 1-2 to Gary Carter. Jay Johnstone playing first base today. Richie Ebner has a jammed shoulder. Phillies are getting some bullpen activity. Warren Brewster starting to throw. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball up the middle, gobbled up by Bowa. His throw, Carter's out by a step, and on the play, Perez holds at second base. 2 down, that'll bring up third baseman Larry Parrish. Parrish batting .248. Wayne Garrett jammed his knee sliding into second base in last night's doubleheader. Garrett has been sent back to Montreal for x-rays. Tony Perez, second base, 2 outs. Pitch to Parrish is over for a strike call. Now the pitch on the way, nubbed a foul back behind the plate. Scott has a jump on Larry Parrish, 0-2. 2 runs are in for the Expos here in the first inning. 2 outs. 2-strike pitch, just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Parrish. One-two pitch. And just a little bit low. It's 2-2. Two-two pitch. Wide, ball 3, a full count. 3-2 the count to Larry Parrish. Tony Perez at second base, 2 outs. 3-2 pitch. Late swing and a foul back. And it stays 3-2 to Parrish. Sam Mejias waiting on deck. Larry Parrish goes back to the on-deck circle to get the time tar cloth. Full count to him. Here's Kaat's stretch and a turnaround, a look back to second base, but Perez gets back in plenty of time. Sizemore trying to sneak behind him. There was no throw by Kaat. 2-0 Montreal, top half of the first. Three-two pitch, swing, and a line drive to right field. Bake McBride comes on, makes the catch, and Parrish is out. The Expos get 2 in the inning on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. And at the end of 1 half, Montreal 2, Phillies coming to bat. Well, the Phillies this afternoon facing veteran right-hander Jackie Brown. Brown has won 8, lost 9, an earned run mark of 3.83. He was signed originally by the Phillies. has pitched in the major leagues for the Washington Senators, Texas Rangers, Cleveland Indians, and now the Expos. Jackie will throw a lot of breaking balls. 34 years old, he comes out of Holdenville, Oklahoma. Bake McBride will be the first one to face him. And the pitch to Bake is a curveball high for a ball. 1-0 the count to McBride. Bake to be followed by Larry Bowa, then Mike Schmidt. Brown's 1-0 pitch on the way. Another curveball grounded to center field for a base hit. So Bake McBride opens the Phillies half of the first with a ground single to center. Bake at first base, nobody out. That'll bring on Larry Bowa. Bowa batting .284. He'll hit left against Jackie Brown. Brown is 1-0 this year against the Phillies, pitching brilliant relief against the Phils on opening day. Getting the nod over Steve Carlton, 4-3. Here's the pitch to Bowa. Fastball high for a ball. That's the last time Carlton has lost here at Veterans Stadium. Steve has reeled off 13 wins in a row here at this ballpark. Throw to first base, and Bake McBride gets back. There goes McBride, swinging a drive into right center field, but drifting back is Andre Dawson, makes the catch on the run. McBride going. Boy hit it pretty well, but caught by Andre Dawson. One down, that'll bring up Mike Schmidt. Schmidt hitting .277, 28 home runs. He's knocked in 65 runs. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. Montreal leading at 2-0. Bake McBride, runner at first base, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike called. Now the stretch by Brown. And the pitch to Schmidt is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Brown came from the Cleveland Indians to Montreal in the deal that sent Andre Thornton to Cleveland. 1-1 the count to Schmidt. Brown stretch. Throw to first base. Bake McBride gets back. There's a stretch by Brown, and the pitch to Schmidt. Base hit right field. Bake McBride will hold on at second base. Sam Mejias gets it back into the infield. Mike Schmidt grounds a single to right. So the Phillies have 2 men on base, 1 out, and that'll bring on the bull. Greg Luzinski hitting .318. His batting average has been going down the last couple of weeks, but the home run and RBI production going well up. 29 homers, 90 runs batted in. 6 of his last 7 hits have been home runs. Pitch to the bull. Breaking ball inside for a ball. Bake McBride at second, Mike Schmidt at first, 1 out. Here's a stretch by Brown. And the pitch to the bull. Breaking ball, nub foul off the end of his bat. The count 1-1. Birthday wishes this afternoon to William Harvey, celebrating his 67th. Phillies coming into this game have won 7 games in a row, holding a 2.5 game lead in National League East over the Chicago Cubs. Pitch to the bull, swing and a miss, and a slider. Brown has the jump on him, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bake McBride at second, Mike Schmidt at first, 1 out. 1-2 pitch. Fastball laced into left field for a hit. Bake McBride being waved around third. Cromartie's throw goes over the Phillies dugout. 2 runs will score. Phillies have tied it at 2. Cromartie heaved it way over the head of Gary Carter. It took one bounce and into the stand.
He had a shot. He had a shot at throwing out McBride, but he threw it over everybody's head. Carter had a shot at it. Brown was back there, but he didn't come anywhere near the ball. It took one hop over the dugout.
One run batted in for Luzinski, the other run scoring on Cromartie's overthrow. And it's a 2-2 ball game here in the first inning. Still only one out. Luzinski at second base. Here's Jay Johnstone hitting .309. Pitch to Jay. Curveball, high for a ball. Well, the Expos got two in the top half. Phillies have tied it here in the bottom half. The pitch to Johnstone, high again, ball two. Luzinski now has 91 runs batted in on the year. He is second in the league, moving in front of Ron Say behind George Foster, who has 109. Two and nothing the count to Jay Johnstone. Stretched by Jackie Brown on the pitch. High for a ball. It's 3-0.
I think Jay will get a green light here if Brown will throw him a strike. He does have a base open. With a right-hand batter coming up next, probably won't give him anything to hit.
Here's a stretch. 3-0 pitch. Low ball four. He walked in. First walk surrendered by Brown. Phillies have two men on base, one out. That'll bring up Garry Maddox. Maddox batting .278. Greg Luzinski at second base. Jay Johnstone first base, one out. Here's the pitch to Garry. Breaking ball fouled straight back. One strike to count to Maddox. Maddox so far this year against Jackie Brown, nothing for four. Luzinski second, Johnstone at first. Here's the pitch to Maddox. Another breaking ball, pop foul out of play. Brown will throw a lot of curveballs and sliders and change speeds with both pitches. Doesn't throw too many fastballs. He did try to sneak one by Luzinski after throwing him three breaking balls, and Greg ripped it into left field. Two-strike pitch. Check swing foul. It stays 0-2. 2-2 ball game. We're in the first inning. Phillies are on the road after this game. Big weekend series in Chicago. We'll be televising Saturday afternoon and the doubleheader Sunday from Wrigley Field. And we'll televise all three from Montreal Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. Two-strike pitch, breaking ball low. It's 1-2. Don Stanhouse is throwing in the Expos bullpen. One-two pitch, breaking ball, tapped foul back behind the plate. And it stays 1-2 to Garry Maddox. Greg Luzinski at second, Jay Johnstone at first, one out. Stretch by Brown. 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball hit to third. Parrish throws to Cash one. The relay not in time to double up Maddox. They get Johnstone at second base for out number 2, and that'll bring up Bob Boone. Let's pause here for station identification. This is the Phil's Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. AccuWeather says it'll be continued warm and humid tonight with a low around 70 degrees. Right now in Independence Mall, it's sunny and 91.
That'll bring on Bob Boone. Boone hitting 283. Luzinski at third, Maddox at first, 2 outs. Boone got his 9th home run of the year here last night. Or actually this morning when he hit it. Pitch to Bob. Low for a ball. Now the next delivery to Boone is in the dirt, ball 2. It's 2-0. 2-2 ball game. Bottom half of the first inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul out of play. It's 2-1 to Bob Boone. Phillies have had an excellent homestand. The Phillies 9-2 on this homestand. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit to short. Speier has it. Flips to Cash for the force on Maddox. Phillies are retired in the first. But the Phillies tie the ball game with 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits, 1 Expos error, 2 men left. And at the end of 1, Phil's 2, Montreal 2. Now time for a tasty break. Greg Luzinski and Bob Boone host Haddon's November 5th trip. For a free brochure in Pennsylvania, call WA3-6663. In New Jersey, 795-5550. Mejias a ground ball deep short. That's trouble. Bowa a long throw. Not in time. Mejias beats it out for an infield single. Hit number 4 given up by Kaat, and that'll bring on Chris Speier. Speier hitting at 229. For more information on Haddon Travel's trips to Hawaii, write to Haddon Travel, Box 5550, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08003. Mejias first base, nobody out. Here's Kaat's stretch, and the pitch to Speier is low for a ball. 1-0 the count to Chris Speier. We're in the second inning, score tied at 2. Pitch on the way is over for a strike called. It's 1-1. Kaat is ready. The pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Chris Speier. The 2-1 pitch. Line drive right field. Bake McBride back, and he makes a great catch right near the rim of the warning track. Bake almost did not get back far enough, pulled it out with a glove hand stab. 1 down.
I think it was hit a little better than he thought. Well, it's obvious it was hit better than he thought. He kind of misplayed it, but good recovery. That's one thing that speed will do. It'll make up for some mistakes out there.
Here's Jackie Brown batting 159. He's down to bunt, bunts it foul down the third base side. 1 strike to count to pitcher Jackie Brown. There's one other game in the National League being played today at San Francisco. Houston and the Giants. Houston failed in the first. Mark Lemongello going against Ed Halicki. One strike to count to Jackie Brown. Here's a pitch to him, a pitch out, nothing on. 1-1 to Brown. One pitch. Bunted right back to Jim Kaat. He'll go to first base to Jay Johnstone for out number 2. Sacrifice good by Brown. Play goes Kaat to Jay Johnstone for out number 2. Mejias moves up to second base, where with 2 outs, it'll bring up Dave Cash. Cash singled and scored a run his first time up. pitch to Cash, and it's over for a strike call. Dave against the Phillies this year, 13 for 28. Kaat's one-strike pitch. Inside, backed him away. It's 1-1. Ball on the strike to count to Cash. Cash calls time, steps out. 1-1 pitch, fastball high and away. It's 2-1. Kaat's 2-1 pitch, line drive right field. Bake McBride there makes the catch. Cash is out on a sinking line drive to right. For the Expos, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 1.5, Phillies 2 and Montreal 2. Ted Sizemore will lead off for the Phils here in the second. Size hitting .277. He has hit safely in the last 8 straight games. Browns pitched to him a breaking ball, low for a ball. Sizemore, during that 8-game hitting streak, hitting the ball at a .444 pace. 1-0 pitch to Ted. Bouncing up there with a breaking ball. It's 2-0. Two ball game, bottom half of the second inning. Both teams scoring a pair of runs in the first. Brown's 2-0 pitch is over for a strike call. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Sizemore, a bunt try, and he bunts it foul behind the plate. 2-2 the count to Ted Sizemore. Phillies going on the road to Chicago and Montreal. Back home here a week from tomorrow night against the Houston Astros on the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Remember, the night of the 20th will be our annual Old Timers game. Here's the pitch to Sizemore. Curveball high for a ball. 3-2 to Ted. Here's Brown's 3-2 pitch. Swing and a high foul down the first base side. It'll be out of play into the seats. And it stays 3-2 to Ted Sizemore. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4. He walked him. Second walk given up by Jackie Brown. Sizemore a base runner. Jim Kaat will step up. Kaat batting 143. Ted Sizemore first base, nobody out. Expos look for a bunt. Kaat a full swing and a drive to left center field. Dawson can't get it. It's over his head. Here's Sizemore being waved around third. He scores. Kaat a double. Phillies lead it 3-2.
Well, the pitchers have been helping themselves with the bat lately. Christensen drove in a run last night. Carlton a big game last Sunday. Kaat here way over Dawson's head. I think Dawson was playing in a little shallow. Of course, the Expos were looking for a bunt, but the outfielder shouldn't be looking for a bunt.
Here's Bake McBride. He singled and scored a run his first time up. Kaat doubled in his own behalf in his last outing against Bert Hooten of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's the pitch to McBride, and it's low for a ball. Jim pitched 7 shutout innings in that ball game. Did not get a decision, but pitched great baseball. Phillies lead 3-2. Kaat at second base and nobody out. Here's the pitch to Bake. Swinging a foul back and just below us. Ball on the strike to Bake McBride. Jackie Brown has his sign from Carter. 1-1 pitch to Bake, bouncing foul down the first base side. Ball and 2 strikes to McBride. Phillies have 3 runs and 4 hits. Expos 2 runs and 4 hits. We're in the second inning. Brown's 1-2 pitch. Fastball grounded foul past third base coach Bill Lamar's. Now it stays 1-2 to Bake McBride. Brown stretches. 1-2 pitch to him. Swing and a fly ball, deep right field. Mejias away back, and it's out of here. A home run. Bake McBride has just put one over the right field fence, and the Phillies now lead it 5-2. To Bake his 9th home run of the year.
He went out of the strike zone for a high fastball. He was just trying to pull the ball to move the runner. And he got a little extra bonus there. Still nobody out.
Bake McBride is homered for a case of tasty cake for him and wife Celeste on that home run. Here's Larry Bowa. Bowa ground ball to Dave Cash. Cash throws. Bowa's out for the first out of the inning. 1 down. Phillies leading 5-2 in the second. That'll bring up Mike Schmidt. Schmidt, he singled to right his first time up. Well, the Phillies spotted Montreal 2 in the top of the first. Have come back with 5 runs. Leading this game 5-2 here in the second. The pitch to Schmidt. Breaking ball. Line drive, base hit, center field. Mike Schmidt gets his second straight single. And for the Phillies, that is hit number 6 off Jackie Brown. Out comes Dick Williams, and this might be it for Brown. He's making the way to the bullpen where Don Stanhouse has been warming up. We have a pitching change for the Expos. We're in the second inning at Veterans Stadium. Phillies leading the game 5-2, and we'll be back after this brief pause. Game time Sunday night will be 7 o'clock. And musicians, bring your instruments on that night and be led by Fred Waring in Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Don Stanhouse ready to go. Greg Luzinski steps in, singled and knocked in a run his first time up.
Okay, Harry, what was that Fred Waring group called when Fred was touring the country?
The Pennsylvania.
That's good. You surprised me.
Thought I was a lot younger than that, huh?
No, not that.
Schmidt at first base and 1 out. Stanhouse stretches. And the pitch to the ball is over for a strike call. 1 strike to count to Luzinski. Second inning, Phillies lead it 5-2. Throw to first base, and Mike Schmidt is back in time. Now the stretch by Stanhouse. And the pitch to the ball is a fastball high. It skips away from Carter, but not far enough for an advance by Schmidt. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Greg Luzinski. Don Stanhouse on for Jackie Brown here in the second inning. Stanhouse stretches. Here's the pitch to the ball. Swings and he misses it. A good fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3 runs in here in the second. Sizemore walked. Jim Kaat doubled him in, and Bake McBride a 2-run home run. Bowa grounded out. Mike Schmidt at first base with a base hit. One-two pitch. Swing and a foul back, and it stays 1-2 to Greg Luzinski. Tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field, Steve Carlton will pitch for the Phillies against the Cubs' Steve Renko. Will, of course, be on the Phillies radio network for all of the games on this road trip, and on the Phillies television network for all of the games except tomorrow afternoon's game. Lob toss to first base. Mike Schmidt is back. Another throw by Stanhouse. Schmidt gets back. "5-2, Phillies lead the game. We're only in the second inning. There goes Schmidt. Pitches a base hit to right field, nubbed right off the end of his bat. Schmidt didn't see it. Ball juggled by Mejias, but Schmidt will stay at third base. Schmidt stopped at second base, still had time to regroup and go to third. Phillies have runners at first and third.
Right, Mike Schmidt had no idea where the ball was when he reached second. He stopped there, dead stop, but no play at all, as Mejias also bobbled the ball. In fact, the Phillies will not be denied today. They're attacking the ball.
Mike Schmidt at third base, Greg Luzinski first base, 1 down. Here's Jay Johnstone. Jay walked his first time up. Jay playing at first base for Richie Hebner, who's out with a jammed shoulder. Johnstone hitting .309. Pitch to him. Fastball high for a ball. Now the stretch by Stanhouse. Swing and a high fly ball right field. Mejias there. Waits, makes the catch. Tagging is Schmidt. The throw to the plate is wide, way down the line. Mike scores. Ball gets away from Carter, and Luzinski moves up to second.
That Mejias can throw the ball also. Ellis Valentine, who generally plays out there, has one of the best arms around. Mejias can throw. This throw was way off target, however. Good velocity, but way up the third baseline, and he'll probably get an error there.
Johnstone, a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Luzinski moves to second on the error on Sam Mejias. So the Phillies now lead at 6-2 with Luzinski at second base, 2 outs, and here's Garry Maddox. Maddox grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Here's the pitch to Garry, and he swings and fouls one out of play. One strike to count to Garry Maddox. Greg Luzinski, second base, 2 outs. 4 runs are in here in the second inning. Phillies leading by a score of 6-2. Pitch to Garry is quite high. It's 1-1. Ball and a strike to Maddox. One pitch to Garry. Swing and a fly ball fouled on the right field side over the picnic area and out of play. And Stanhouse in front of Maddox, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies during the course of this season have had trouble scoring runs for Jim Kaat. Certainly not the case today. Phillies leading 6-2 in the second. Greg Luzinski, second base, 2 down. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit to third, gloved by Larry Parrish. His throw, and Maddox is out. But the Phillies send 8 men to the plate and score 4 runs in the inning. 4 hits, big blow, a homer by Bake McBride. 1 error and 1 left. And at the end of 2, it's Phil's 6, Expos 2. Houston Astros. Phillies lead this game 6-2. We move to the third for more play-by-play. Here's Andy Musser.
Thanks, Harry, and here's Warren Cromartie heading for the plate. He's a left-handed batter who sent a double the opposite way that bounced out of here for a ground rule double and it knocked in a run. Kaat's first delivery to him is high ball 1. Cromartie hitting at .284. We've got a beautiful day at the ballpark. Sun is out right now. Here is a hard ground ball through on the right side, a base hit. Between Sizemore and Johnstone, and a single to right field for Cromartie, his second hit of the ball game. Third straight inning, the Expos have had their leadoff man on with a hit. Andre Dawson will bat. He lined out to left field his first time up.
That just tied an all-time record. Leadoff man on for 3 straight innings. First 3 innings. Held by many.
Yes. Dawson, the batter, he hit the ball hard but was out his first time up. Kaat stretches. Dawson lays a bunt down and a good one down the third base side. Fielded by Schmidt. Fair hand does not throw. Now uncorks one to second base, but Cromartie had held the bag. So that'll be a bunt single for Dawson. Perfectly placed, just fair down the third base side.
It's like one of those days for pitchers. Phillies already have 7 hits through 2 innings. Now the Expos threatening have 6 hits. Still nobody out.
And here's the man that they used to call Mr. RBI when he was with the Cincinnati Reds, Tony Perez. And he has an RBI in this game on a double to left center field. Perez, a right-handed batter. Tony hits a hard ground ball to second base. Sizemore to Bowa for 1. Back to first. That's a double play. Sizemore with Bowa turns it over at second base. Larry Bowa has dropped his glove. It looks as though Larry may have been spiked out there. Advancing on the play, Cromartie to third.
Well, Larry really took a shot from Dawson. Larry a little late in getting the bag. He was playing Perez in the hole and had a long run to the bag, and he got there about the same time Dawson and the ball got there. That's dangerous. He did get hit. He's all right.
And here's Gary Carter, who grounded out to shortstop. So now 2 outs in the inning, and Cromartie at third base with the Phils on top in the ball game, 6-2. Breaking pitch to Carter is over, strike 1. Well, if you're just getting out of work right now, and it is about 5 o'clock, we've got room for you here at the ballpark. Plenty of seats available on a bright, sunshiny late afternoon. Perfect place to stop by. Here is the changeup by Kaat, and he gets it over. 0-2 to Carter. Let's pause for station identification, the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is Kate. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight. Low 72 at Independence Mall, 94 degrees.
Kaat leads Carter in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Jim stretches, and here's the pitch. He misses outside. Expos broke on top in this game with 2 in the first. Then the Phils came back to tie it and take the lead. Here's a pop-up, shallow right field. Sizemore is back, and he grabs it for the out. The inning is over. For the Expos in the third, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. At the end of 2.5, the Phils lead at 6-2, and now it's time for a tasty break. Bob Boone will lead it off against reliever Don Stanhouse. As the Phillies bat in the third inning, Boone, Sizemore, and Kaat will come to the plate. Stanhouse has a distinction this year. He is the only pitcher in the National League to hit a grand slam home run. He did it at Wrigley Field off Bill Bonham, but he was the losing pitcher that day. Here's Boone, who is grounded out in his only at-bat. First pitch by Stanhouse is inside, ball 1. Boone is hitting at .283. Stanhouse next pitch is a breaking ball. Boone with a half swing fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanhouse working behind Jackie Brown, a reliever who had pitched very effectively against the Phils earlier this year. Got a start today. He's been in their starting rotation lately, and the Phils really hammered him. Next pitch to Boone is fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies have won 7 straight. They're trying for their longest win streak of the year today. Last year, in their ever so successful season, they never won more than 6 in a row. They did that twice. Here's the 1-2 to Boone. It's a little bit low, 2-2. Stanhouse has the sign from Carter. Here's his 2-2 delivery. Off the handle of the bat, looped into shallow right field. It's going to drop for a hit. Boone takes a wide turn. He's heading for second. Now he's in the middle, and he goes back, and he will get back. A single for Bob Boone, and he certainly made it exciting.
He wanted to go to second in the worst way. He got about halfway there. It's a good thing he stopped, though, because Cash's throw would have been to Chris Speier there at the second base bag. Would have been in plenty of time.
That's the 8th hit of the ball game for the Phillies. Second off Stanhouse. Here's Ted Sizemore. What a job Size has been doing lately. Went 5 for 7 in the doubleheader last night. Has already walked and scored in this game. Stanhouse from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Sizemore. Laced foul into the picnic area down the right field side. Strike 1.
Yeah, what a catch down there by a fan with a glove. He may have broken both legs to get it, but he gloved it.
Probably tell you it was worth it. 1 strike on Sizemore. Jim Kaat, who has already had a big hit in this ball game, is on deck. Stanhouse from DuQuoin, Illinois, stretches, and here's a ground ball. It's through on the left side, a base hit. Boone stops at second base, a single for Sizemore. Sizemore has batted safely now in 9 straight ball games, his longest hit streak of the year. That brings up Jim Kaat with runners at first and second and nobody out. Phillies have had something going every inning. They got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and they are threatening again here in the 3rd inning. Kaat was at the plate in what appeared to be a sacrifice situation following a leadoff walk to Sizemore his first time up. But Kaat did not sacrifice and laced a hard-hit ball into left center field that was over the head of Andre Dawson. It went for a double, and it scored Sizemore. Here's the rotation play for Montreal, and Stanhouse bounces a throw to Cash covering second. Good stop by Cash. That would have probably gone into center field, and Booney would have at least gone to third and maybe more. Nobody is up in the Montreal bullpen right now. Stanhouse at the belt. Here's his pitch to Kaat. It's a sacrifice down the third baseline. Bunted. They're letting it roll. It stays fair. It is picked up in foul ground by the third baseman, Parrish, standing right next to the bag. A perfect bunt by Kaat, a base hit.
It would have hit the bag. Parrish couldn't let it roll any further. It would have gone out into the outfield. So that's the only play he had, was hope it would go foul. Bases loaded, nobody out. That is the 10th base hit.
Phillies have loaded them here on a pop fly single to right, a ground ball single to left, and a bunt single to third. So Bake McBride, who homered in his last at bat, is at the plate with the sacks full. Bake is 2 for 2. He also singled his first time up, and the Expos have brought their infield in. They trail the ball game 6-2. Stanhouse will work out of the stretch. The right-hander stretches. Here's his pitch to McBride. Low and away. It gets away from Carter, but nobody's moving. Carter had to go halfway to the Phillies dugout to pick up that ball that trickled away. But Boone at third did not get the jump and decided to hold on. One nothing, the count to Bake McBride. Bake homered here last night, so he now has more homers in a Philly uniform than he did as a Cardinal. It's 5-4. Stanhouse ready to go back to work. 1-0 to McBride. Swing and a miss as he fails to get a fastball. The Houston-San Francisco game has gone to the fourth inning. They are tied 2 aside. One ball and one strike on Bake McBride. Phillies lead this ball game 6-2, trying for win number 8 straight. Cubs are not playing today, so the Phillies could have a 3-game lead as they go to Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon. Pitch on the way to Bake, foul back to the screen. Pittsburgh Pirates will play later today. They'll be opening a series against the New York Mets. Scheduled starters in that game, by the way, Pat Zachary for the Mets and Odell Jones for the Pirates. It's a 1-2 count on Bake McBride. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch on the way to Bake. Pop back, foul. Out of play just above our heads. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The center fielder in the booth had his hands up as if to make the play.
I was ready for it. I like those little pop flies. I don't like those line drive fouls.
No, I think this was a very playable foul. Phillies have him loaded with nobody out. Don Stanhouse picking up where Jackie Brown left off. He's been in a lot of trouble. He's ready to go. Here's the 1-2 to McBride. Swing and a piece of it. He fouled it back to the screen. Bake twisted all the way around. He really had a rip at that. Stanhouse seems like he's been around a long time, but this is only his 4th year in the major leagues, and he's still just 26 years of age. The Expos got him along with Pete McCannon from Texas for Willie Davis in December of 1974. Bases loaded with Phillies. It's Bob Boone at third, Ted Sizemore at second, Jim Kaat at first. They all got singles. 1-2, the count on Bake McBride. Conference at the mound has broken up now, and Stanhouse is ready to work. Here's the 1-2 to Bake. It's a line drive into center field. Retreating is Dawson. He gets over, makes the catch. Tagging at third base is Boone. He will score. And tagging at second base, advancing to third is Sizemore, and the Phillies lead the ball game 7-2. Third RBI of the ball game for Bake McBride. Holding at first base was Jim Kaat. That's the first run the Phillies have scored against Stanhouse. The Expo infield with 1 down will remain in. And here's Larry Bowa, one of only 2 batters in the Phillies lineup that hasn't connected today. And we're only in the 3rd inning. It's Bowa and Maddox, the only 2 hitters who are 0 for 2.
And Larry's hit the ball hard twice, both of them caught.
Bowa batting .283. The Expos continue to keep that infield in. Runners on first and third with 1 away. Stanhouse ready to work on Bowa. Misses on the outside. Ball 1.
This is a good squeeze bunt situation, but I don't think the Phillies would do it with a 5-run lead. That kind of is rubbing it in the noses of the opposition. I think Bowa will probably hit away.
Stanhouse stretches. Here's his pitch to Bowa. And it's a line drive foul down the left field side. As you pointed out last night, though, Rich, a lot of the traditional baseball rules have really gone out the window.
That's true. But they haven't gone out the window with everybody. Danny Ozark still has some compassion for the opposition. I don't think it's against his style to squeeze bunt with a 5-run lead.
Here's a 1-1 count on Larry Bowa. Stanhouse is ready to go, and here's the pitch to Larry. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Bowa. Phillies on their way to Chicago right after the ball game. They'll leave directly for the airport. And we'll be on the air from Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon over KYW and the Phillies radio network starting at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Phillies against their closest pursuers, the Cubs. Here is a little looper to third base, and stepping on the bag over at third is Parrish for a double play.
Just a comment on that little looper. That could have been an easy triple play had the Expos needed it, because Kaat was running, and he was all the way down to second.
So the inning is over, and the Phillies do get one more run, though. They do it on 3 hits, and there is 1 man left on base. At the end of 3, Phillies lead the Expos 7-2. Many times this year, the Phillies have been guilty of not scoring runs for Jim Kaat, but not so this afternoon, as they've given him a 5-run jump. Phillies leading this ball game 7-2. Here's Larry Parrish. Kaat starts him off with a breaking ball. He pops it foul out of play. Strike 1 to Parrish. He lined out to Bake McBride in right field in his first time up. Kaat's next delivery is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Remember, when the Phillies get back to town August 19th, they'll be playing the Houston Astros that Friday night, and it's free Holder top night. Foul chopped off the plate by Parrish. The count is 1-2. That Holder top is going to say all the good things wrapped up in one: tasty cake and the Phillies. The 1-2 on the way to Parrish. It's a pop-up. Bob Boone staring up at it right at the plate, muscling with Parrish to move him out of the way, and Boone finally catches it about 8 feet in front of the plate in fair territory. Parrish is out on a pop-up to Boone. Boone actually collided with Parrish twice trying to get into position to catch that pop fly. One out on the 4th. Here's Sam Mejias. Mejias filling in right field this afternoon after the injury to Ellis Valentine. Valentine was sent to Methodist Hospital here in Philadelphia to have his left ankle x-rayed. I looked at that ankle before the ball game. It was really swollen up. He was hit by a foul ball in last night's ball game prior to the rain delay in Game 2. Big swing and a miss by Mejias. He chased a bad pitch. Mejias got an infield hit in his first at bat. There have already been 16 hits in this ball game. Kaat misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the 5th, the Giants have gone ahead of the Astros 4-2. Next pitch is low, a ball. Gary Alexander hit a San Francisco home run in the 4th with 1 on, his 3rd of the year. To separate those 2 teams, that's Mark Lemongello pitching against Ed Halicki. Ball tapped off the plate, first base side. Kaat bare hands it, kind of shovels it over to first base, and he got it there ahead of Mejias. A 1-3 play, and Mejias is out.
Like he was going up on the backboard and tipping a rebound.
Tipped it right over to Jay Johnstone. Playing the bag today, here's Chris Speier. He lined out to right field. Phillies lead the ball game 7-2. Speier, right-handed batter. The pitch to him, fastball is high, ball 1. Pitcher Don Stanhouse is on deck. Here's a curveball hammered through the hole, a base hit to left field. Speier singles between Bowa and Schmidt, and that's hit number 7 for Montreal. Phillies have out-hit the Expos by 3, but they lead the ball game by 5. And here's Stanhouse. Stanhouse getting his first at-bat of the ball game. He's hitting at .211. Has the Grand Slam home run this year, and those are the only 4 RBIs he has. Stanhouse takes inside, ball 1. Kaat stretches. Here's his next delivery to Stanhouse. It's outside. 2-0 to the Montreal pitcher, Don Stanhouse. Jim Kaat facing the Expos for the 3rd time this year, but this is the first time he has started against Montreal. The 2-0 pitch, check swing, pop fly, foul out of play. 2-1 to Don Stanhouse. Phillies have scored in every inning. They've come to the plate. 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They added 1 more in the third. The Expos got their 2 in the first. Kaat has blanked them since then. Here's a foul back to the screen. 2-2 to Stanhouse. Needless to say, neither team worked out before the ball game today. After showering and talking briefly with reporters, most players didn't leave here last night till around 4 o'clock in the morning. Kaat now steps off. So today there was no infield, no batting practice. There was, of course, the annual father-children's game before the ball game, and that was fun as always. Stanhouse stays in there as he fouls another one back to the screen. Carlton against Renko at Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon. And then on Saturday, they'll be up against Rick Russell. He has won 11 straight games at Wrigley Field. Randy Lurch will pitch that ball game for the Phillies, and we'll send it back on radio as well as television. Curveball foul to the screen by Stanhouse. 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. Speier at first base. Kaat hasn't walked anybody today, and he hasn't struck anybody out. Here's a fly ball hit into center field. Garry Maddox a few steps to his left, and he's there for the out. The inning is over. The Expos in the fourth. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of 3.5, Phil's lead 7-2. Phillies' fourth inning begins with Mike Schmidt, who is building another one of his on-base streaks again. Schmidt has been on base now 6 consecutive times. He walked 3 times in the second end of the doubleheader last night. Was also on base on a fielder's choice, so he was on base every time last night, and he has singled both times up this afternoon, and he has scored both times. So 6 straight on base for Schmidt. He'll be followed by Luzinski and Johnstone as the Phillies bat in the fourth inning, leading Montreal 7-2. Right-hander Don Stanhouse winds. Curveball is low, ball 1. Phillies finishing up this homestand today. They have won 9 and lost only 2 on this homestand. Next pitch to Schmidt, a fastball is over for a strike. Lost 1 game in the Giants series, lost 1 game in the Padres series. Swept the Dodgers. Lead the Expos 2-0. Here's the 1-1 to Schmidt. Swing and a foul back to the screen. He just got a piece. Got another fine crowd here this afternoon. Phillies had 46,000 here last night for a rainy doubleheader that stretched way into the morning hours. We really had a milkman's matinee last night and today. Schmidt tires of waiting and steps out. The count on him is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 from Stanhouse. Pop fly, foul by Mike Schmidt, out of play. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Because of an earlier rainout, the Phils and the Cubs will play a doubleheader at Wrigley Field Sunday. Larry Christensen and Jim Lonborg pitch for the Phillies. Ray Burris and Bill Bonham go for Chicago. So that's a 4-game series. Next pitch to Schmidt, he misses inside. The count is level, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schmidt and Luzinski, the number 3 and 4 hitters in the Phillies lineup, are a combined 4 for 4 today. The 2-2 is high, ball 3. The count runs full on Schmidt. Stanhouse hasn't walked anybody. The Expo starter, Jackie Brown, walked 2. Ready for the full count delivery to Schmidt, and it's a called 3rd strike. Mike strikes out. First strikeout for a Montreal pitcher this afternoon. That's 1 out in the 4th inning, and here's Luzinski. Greg has singled both times at the plate. has driven in 1 run, his 91st of the year. That moves him ahead of Ron Say and into second place in the National League behind George Foster. First pitch to the ball is over for a strike. Greg Luzinski entertaining some people again in his bull ring today. The Aspera Club of Philadelphia out there this afternoon. Next pitch is high to the ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies seeking their 67th win this afternoon. And right now they've got a 2.5 game margin in the National League East. Could be 3 if they win because the Cubs aren't playing. Stanhouse fires a changeup and misses. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count on Luzinski. Now the Astros have come back to tie that game with the Giants. It's 4-all in the 5th. Stanhouse misses high, 3-1. One out and nobody on for the Phillies in the 4th inning. They have scored every time they've been to the plate today. Here's Stanhouse, 3-1 pitch. Bull checks. It's a fastball, misses high, ball 4, and he's on base for the 3rd straight time. That's the first walk given out by Stanhouse. It brings up Jay Johnstone, who was walked by starter Jackie Brown, and he also hit a sacrifice fly ball to right field that scored a run. Jay was not in the Phillies' original lineup today. They were playing Rich Hebner at first base, but Hebner's bothered by a sore shoulder. Stanhouse stretches. Here's the pitch to Jay. It's outside corner, a strike. Jay hitting at 309. Phillies on top in this game, 7-2. They have out-hit Montreal 10-7. Here's the 1-strike pitch to Jay, and it's a line drive base hit to right field. Greg Luzinski will hold at second base, and the Phillies have runners at first and second with 1 down. And the Phillies just keep coming at them today. That is the 11th hit of the ball game for the Phillies. We're in the 4th inning. Here's Garry Maddox. So far, Maddox and Bowa are the only 2 who have not joined the hit parade. Garry is 0 for 2, grounded into a force out, and grounded out 3rd to 1st. Maddox batting .276. Breaking ball to Garry is outside, ball 1. Maddox has already knocked in 50 runs for the Phillies this year. Stanhouse delivers high. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody is up in the Montreal bullpen right now, with the Phillies leading it by 5 runs. Things are in the grip of Don Stanhouse. Here's the 2-0 to Maddox. Foul balled off the right side. We pause for station identification. The Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio 260 Philadelphia. AccuWeather telling us partly cloudy skies tonight with a low about 72 degrees. KYW News time 5:30.
A 2-ball, 1-strike count on Garry Maddox. 1 out in the Phillies' 4th inning and runners at first and second. Here's the right-hander's next pitch to Maddox. It's in the dirt. It gets away from Carter, but no chance for Luzinski to move from second to third. Runners hold, and the count has slipped to 3-1 on Maddox. Our daily news home run payoff will be the next time the Phillies bat. And remember, the payoff has been raised during the month of August. $2,000 for a home run and $10,000 for a bases full home run. Stanhouse stretches. 3-1 on its way to Maddox. Ground ball up the first base side. It is chopped foul out of play. Hit off the plate and took a huge hop and didn't come down until it landed in the right field picnic area. So the count is full on Maddox, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Garry is headed back to the dugout. He's going to get a new piece of lumber. Full count on Garry Lee Maddox. Garry has batted safely in 7 straight ball games. Reminder that before we leave the air today, the Tasty Cake wrap-up show will include an interview with a guest, all the highlights of this one, plus a check of the out-of-town score and schedules. Like Tasty Cake, it's all the good things wrapped up in one. Full count to Garry Maddox. Luzinski the runner at second. Johnstone the runner at first with 1 out. Phillies leading Montreal 7-2 in the 4th inning. Here's the full count delivery to Garry, and it's a pop-up. This will be caught near the bag at second base. Dave Cash calls off Chris Speier, and Cash makes the catch. 2 outs in the inning. Luzinski at second, Johnstone at first, and it's up to Bob Boone. Boone is 1 for 2 today, singled and scored his last time up. Here's the first pitch to Boone, and it's in for a strike call. Phillies had 6 hits and 6 runs off starter Jackie Brown. They have 5 hits and 1 run off for his successor, Don Stanhouse. The 1-strike pitch to Boone is a check swing foul ball. Stanhouse on top of Boone, no balls and 2 strikes. Chicago Cubs enjoying the day off after their series at Pittsburgh. Waiting for the Phillies to arrive in town, and that series, a 4-game weekend series, will begin tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field. Here's the 0-2 to Boone. It's a fly ball foul out of play. San Francisco has again taken a lead on Houston. It's now San Francisco 5 and the Astros 4 at the end of 5 innings. Starters still working. Mark Lemongello for the Astros, Ed Halicki for the Giants. Gary Alexander with the game's only home run. He hit it for the Giants in the 4th with 1 on, his 3rd of the year. Stanhouse at the belt. Here's his 0-2 to Boone. Reaches out and just gets a piece of a ball. Fouls it back to the screen. Still 0-2 to Bob Boone. Stanhouse looking into Carter for his sign. Has it now. And here's the 0-2 to Boone. It's a fly ball, not very well hit to right field. Coming in is Mejias, and he grabs it for the out. Phillies retired in the 4th without scoring for the first time. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left. At the end of 4, Phillies lead the Expos 7-2. Well, this ball game edges into the 5th inning, and here to liven things up, Rich Ashford.
Okay, Andy, thank you. Dave Cash will lead it off. Cash is 1 for 2 with a single. He takes a called strike. Dave scored a run in the 1st. Kaat's pitch. Pop fly, right field, hit pretty well. McBride going back. Under the ball, makes the catch. Cash is out, 1 down. Arlene Dahl is 49 years old today. What a beautiful lady. Lloyd Nolan is 75. Mike Douglas is 52. And here's Warren Cromartie. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a single and a run batted in. Pitch to Cromartie is a ball. Cromartie batting .288 and was hitless in the doubleheader last night. And Barry Condren of Middletown, PA is 31 today. Ball 2 and a strike to Cromartie. Phillies lead 7-2, fifth inning. Kaat's pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider. Count evens up at 2-2 on Cromartie. Sidearm pitch. Foul ball into the backstop. Phillies with a lot of early scoring. 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and 1 in the third. Cromartie takes low. Full count now. Expos scored their 2 runs in the first inning. Phillies have been getting great pitching from their starters. Pitch on the way is fouled back. Phillies can go ahead and win this game. They have a 3-game lead over the Cubs, who are idle today. 4-game lead over Pittsburgh. Cromartie bounces one to first, grabbed by Johnstone. Jay steps in the bag, and Cromartie's out. 2 outs. And the batter will be Andre Dawson, who is lined out and singled. Dawson 1 for 2, batting .282. It's a hot, steamy day here at the ballpark. Good crowd on hand. Probably 30-some thousand. Kaat's pitch to Dawson is inside, ball 1. Phillies going for their 8th straight win. Next pitch is up high, ball 2. Dawson lines one foul, out of play, right side. Phillies will go to Chicago tonight. Big 4-game series with the Cubs. Here's a grounder to Schmidt. Nope, past Schmidt, a base hit. Just out of the reach of Mike Schmidt, going hard to his left, so Dawson has a 2-out single. And the batter will be Tony Perez, who has doubled and hit into a double play. He's also knocked in a run. Tony batting .275. Kaat's pitch. Pop foul right side will reach the crowd in the picnic area. Strike 1 on Perez. After today's game, the Phillies still play the Expos 10 more ball games. We're seeing a lot of this club. Kaat's pitch. Strike called. Kaat will probably get a start against Montreal next Tuesday up in Canada. Pitch to Perez is high and inside. Phillies lead 7-2, top of the 5th. Dawson on first, 2 outs. There's a high pop fly, playable, I believe. McBride over towards the foul line, and right field makes the catch. Perez is out. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. Phillies batting in the 5th. They lead the Expos 7-2. Well, this is it, fans. It's time for home run payoff. Now twice as good in the month of August. The Daily News, which has already shelled out $17,000 this season, has now doubled the jackpot for this month. If your name is read this inning and if Philly homers, you win $2,000 or $10,000. If it's a grand slam, if no homer is hit, you'll still receive 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. But enter on the windfall. Enter today and every day with coupons appearing in the Daily News. And now you can win up to $10,000. Ted Sizemore, the batter, he'll swing for $2,000 for Esther Dockery, Linwood Road in Philadelphia. Sizemore's been on twice with a walk and a single. It'll be Sizemore, Kaat, and McBride to face Stanhouse. Stanhouse misses outside, ball 1. 7-2 lead Phillies, bottom of the 5th. Stanhouse with a pitch. Pop foul, out of play. Ball 1, strike 1 to Sizemore. Sizemore's hitting .279. That's the highest he's been in a long time. Ball 1, strike 1 to Sizemore. Here's a fly ball, shallow right field. Mejias right there makes a catch. 1 down. We'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Esther Dockery here in Philadelphia. Jim Kaat, the batter, he's swinging for $2,000 for Rudy Justy Jr. Hillside Drive in Huntington Valley, PA. Kaat has 2 base hits, a double and a single. He scored a run and knocked in a run. Jim's batting .189. Don Stanhouse, first pitch to Kaat. Line drive, right field, base hit. Looks like extra bases. The ball is against the fence. Kaat is going into second with a stand-up double. And Jim Kaat has doubled with 1 down. His 3rd straight hit. And we'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Rudy Justy Jr. in Huntington Valley, PA. Bake McBride, the batter. Bake has had a good day. Single, home run, sacrifice fly. He's knocked in 3 runs. He's 2 for 2. He's swinging for $2,000 for Dorothy Dunn, Clayton Street here in Philadelphia. Kaat's on second, 1 out. 7-2 lead Phillies, 5th inning. McBride batting .289 as he steps in. First pitch to him. Check swing, foul ball. Strike 1 on McBride. Bake swing for $2,000 for Dorothy Dunn here in Philadelphia. Phillies have 12 hits already. McBride has 2 of those. One of those a 2-run home run. Well, the Phillies like that trade with the Cardinals, and I guess the Cardinals like the deal that gave them Tommy Underwood. Underwood's pitching pretty decent ball for St. Louis. McBride playing very fine brand of baseball here in Philadelphia. Strike 1 the count to Bake McBride. Kaat leads off second, a pretty good lead. Stanhouse checks the runner. Pitch in the way. Pop foul out of play, left side. Strike 2 to McBride. Phillies trying to win their 8th game in a row. Picked a pretty good time to go into a winning streak. Starting play against all the Eastern Division teams. Pitch to McBride. Low and outside. Ball 1, strike 2 to Bake. Don Stanhouse evidently pitches with the philosophy that as long as you got the ball in your hand, the hitter can't hit it. Because he really hangs on to it. He's ready now. Or is he? He is. Low and inside, 2-2 to count. We're in our Daily News home run payoff. Bake McBride swinging for $2,000 for Dorothy Dunn here in Philadelphia. Daily News has doubled the jackpot for the month of August. Stanhouse ready. 2-2 pitch. Low and inside, ball 3. Full count to McBride. Stadium is drenched with sunshine today. After an all-night rain almost. Stanhouse ready again. 3-2 pitch to McBride. Bake fouls it back. Count stays at 3-2. Phillies proved one thing last night. It's going to be almost impossible to rain out a game here at the ballpark. Over 5 hours of rain delays. Phillies did win 2 games. I guess the Expos must have been pretty discouraged after that long night. They lost 2 games. Kaat leads off second. 1 out. 7-2 lead Phillies. 5th inning. 3-2 pitch. High and outside, ball 4. McBride walks. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Dorothy Dunn here in Philadelphia. Larry Bowa, the batter. Bowa swinging for $2,000 for Tony Fiddler, Charles Street here in Philadelphia. Bowa's 0 for 3 today, batting .282. Kaat leads off second, McBride off first, 1 down. Stanhouse out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's outside, ball 1. Expos will go from here. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Dorothy Dunn here in Philadelphia. Larry Bowa, the batter. Bowa swinging for $2,000 for Tony Fiddler, Charles Street here in Philadelphia. Bowa's 0 for 3 today, batting .282. Kaat leads off second, McBride off first, 1 down. Stanhouse out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's outside, ball 1. Expos will go from here to St. Louis for the weekend. Ball 1 the count to Bowa. Stanhouse ready. Ground ball to second. Might be a double play. Cash to second for 1. First, not in time for the double play. Bowa beat the relay throw from Speier. Ball was hit sharply right at Dave Cash. To get the forced play at second, we'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Tony Fiddler here in Philadelphia. Phillies have runners now on first and third, 2 outs. And the batter will be Mike Schmidt. Schmidt is 2 for 3 today, 2 singles. And a strikeout, he's hitting .281. He's swinging for $2,000 for Fran Caulfield, Fern Street in Darby, PA. Kaat on third, Bowa on first, 2 down. Schmidt's Lane for $2,000 for Fran Caulfield in Darby, Pennsylvania. Stanhouse checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, shortstop, hit hard. Speier grabs it, goes to second for the force, and that'll retire the side. We'll send 4 reserve seat tickets along to Fran Caulfield in Darby, PA. For the Phillies, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left on after 5 full innings. It's a Phil 7 and the Expos 2, and now it's time for a tasty break. Montreal here in the 6th inning will lead off with Gary Carter. Carter's 0 for 2 in the day, batting .272. The Phils lead 7-2. Top of the 6th, Jim Kaat doing the pitching for the Phillies. He gave up 2 runs in the first, has held the Expos off since then. Here's a line drive, left center field. This will be extra bases. The ball off the left center field fence. Carter staying at second with a stand-up double as Maddox finally gets the ball in. So Carter with his first hit, a double to left center. And Montreal with a runner on second, nobody out. We have a group here, St. Clair Old Timers Baseball Association of St. Clair, Schuylkill County, and Dauphin County, Pennsylvania. Old-time players. Here's a line drive by Parrish to left center field. This will be an extra base hit. Carter rounding third will score easily. Parrish into second with a double. And all of a sudden, on 2 swings of the bat, it's a 7-3 ball game. The Phillies leading. Give Parrish a run batted in. So Parrish and Carter with line drive doubles to left center. And the Phillies lead now cut 7-3. Gene Garber starting to throw in the Phillies bullpen. Well, the Expos have a lot of hits. They have 10. Only 3 runs so far. Kaat's pitch. And Mejias with a blind drive base hit to right field. Parrish stopping at third. So the Expos with 3 straight line drive base hits. Have runners at first and third, still nobody out. And shortstop Chris Speier coming to bat. So the Expos with 11 hits now, and they have caught in some trouble here in the 6th. As Garber continues to heat up. Infield back at double play depth. Speier takes low, ball 1. And Speier swings and misses at a high pitch, 1-1 the count. Spires 1 for 2 with a single. He's hitting .230. Parrish and Mejias the base runners. Speier takes a little low, 2-1 the count. Phillies lead 7-3. The Expos trying to get some more runs in here. We're in the 6th inning. Speier takes inside, ball 3. Pete McCannon out in the on-deck circle. Speier takes high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Still nobody out. Sacks full of Expos, nobody out. Pete McCannon batting for Stanhouse. Danny Ozark is coming out of the dugout and just guessing and probably off of Jim Kaat. Let's pause for station identification on the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio, 1060 Philadelphia. AccuWeather calling for partly cloudy skies, warm and humid tonight with a low 72 degrees.
Danny Ozark has Motion to the bullpen, and that will be all for Jim Kaat. Gene Garber will come in. We have a pitching change for the Phillies. The score of the Phils 7, the Expos 3, and we'll be back right after this brief pause.
Win a 7-day, all-expense-paid October cruise to Bermuda aboard Holland America's luxurious Stocking Dom. All cruise arrangements made by Talmadge Tours, 1223 Walnut Street, Philadelphia. Yes, you can be a winner of this fabulous cruise for two. Just enter the cruise sweepstakes at any Colonial Federal Savings and Loan office. In Philadelphia, 1206 Chestnut Street. In Havertown, on Westchester Pike across from the Manoa Shopping Center. And in Drexel Hill on Lansdowne Avenue at State Road across from Bond Shopping Center. No obligation, just stop in. So cruise on down to Bermuda. Cruise on down to your nearest Colonial Federal Savings and Loan office. Be a winner. Member FSLIC.
Gene Garber is the new Phillies pitcher here in the 6th, and he comes in a tough situation, bases loaded, nobody out. Well, Friday night, August 19th, is Halder night at the ballpark. That's a week from tomorrow night. All women will receive a free Halder top with the inscriptions. All the good things wrapped up in one, tasty cake and the Phillies. Well, it's Friday night, August 19th, when the Phils play the Houston Astros. Free Halder tops for all women. That's discrimination. I wonder why they don't give them to the men. Speaking of clothing, you should see that suit that Harry Callis is wearing today. Guess they didn't have his size. Looks like it would be good for a cold wave. Well, Garber is in trouble. Bases loaded, nobody out. He'll face Pete McCannon. Expos already have one run in here. Phillies with a 7-3 lead. Parrish is on third, Mejias on second, Speier on first, Pete McCannon the batter. Garber's record, 6 wins, 5 losses, 2.95 ERA. McCannon the batter, right-hand batter, hitting .230. The infielder's back at double play depth. Garber's pitching out of the stretch. First pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup. Strike one to McCannon. Garber giving McCannon good motion on that changeup. We're in the 6th. The Expos trying to get back in this game. Strike one to Pete McCannon. McCannon closed stance. Garber sets. The pitch. Slider, and I believe it's swing and a miss. Yes, he did. First base umpire Frank Pulley on the appeal said, yes, he swung, so it's 2 strikes on McCannon. He's been fooled on a changeup and a slider. Garber sets again. Pitch on the way. Ground ball foul past third. Count stays at 2 strikes on Pete McCannon. 23 hits in the game here in the 6th inning. The Phillies with 12, the Expos with 11. Phillies still lead by 4 runs. Garber checks the runners. The pitch. Struck him out. Struck him out on a good slider. Big strikeout for Garber. McCannon's out of there. 1 down. And the batter is Dave Cash. Cash is 1 for 3 with a single today. He scored a run. Cash is batting .280. Infield still back at double play depth. Bases loaded, one out. Garber will pitch out of a stretch again. First pitch to Cash. Fly ball hit well to right field. McBride going back, still going. It's over his head. He misjudged the ball or lost it. One run is in, and now, well, the ball is dropped in the infield, or the Phillies would have had somebody out of there because the Expos had clogged up third base. Dave Cash is hurt. He injured his ankle, I believe, rounding first, but he'll get a long single and a run batted in, and now it's a 7-4 ball game. Bases still loaded, one out. The Expos clogged up the bases a little bit. I think they thought that ball would be caught, and maybe it should have been. Now, Bake McBride is out there in a dead sun field, and he may have lost that ball by Cash, but he didn't get back on the ball. It went over his head for a single. Mejias was on third along with Speier, but the ball, the relay throw, was dropped by Sizemore, and by the time he recovered it, Speier had retreated to second base. Now Cash is going to have to leave the ball game. Cash hurt his ankle running the bases. Dave gets his second hit. He'll get a run batted in. It's a 7-4 Phillies lead. The bases are still loaded, one down. Frias running for Cash. Sacks loaded, one out. The batter's Warren Cromartie. He's 2 for 3 in the day with a single and a double and a run batted in. Pitch to him is inside, ball one. 7-4 Phillies lead. The Expos still threatening. Bases loaded, one out. 6th inning. Garber out of the stretch. The pitch. Check swing, ground ball. Garber fields it home for one. First. Double play. Oh, boy. Big double play. A little ground ball to Garber. He fired home to Boone. They got the force. Boone fired to Johnstone at first, and they just barely got Cromartie. And that is a big double play. 2 runs for the Expos. 4 hits, 2 left on. After 5 1/2, the Phillies still lead in the game 7-4. Bill Atkinson is the new Montreal pitcher. Pepe Frias will stay in the game in place of Cash and play second base. And Greg Luzinski will lead off for the Phillies here in the 6th. Phillies lead 7-4. Luzinski's been on 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. And he's knocked in a run. Greg takes inside, ball one. Luzinski batting .322. It'll be Luzinski, Johnstone, and Maddox to face right-hander Bill Atkinson. Next pitch is a called strike. Ball one, strike one to Luzinski. Atkinson's pitch, swing and a miss. Atkinson seems to give Luzinski a little trouble on that curveball he's throwing. He seems to take some velocity off the pitch. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and that's the curveball over. So the Bow out on strikes, 1 down. And Jay Johnstone, the batter. Jay has walked, knocked in a run on a sacrifice fly, and singled. Officially, Johnstone is 1 for 1 in the game, batting .312. Atkinson's pitch to him is a called strike. 7-4 lead Phillies, bottom of the 7th. Off-speed pitches outside to Johnstone. 24 hits in the game, each team with 12. The Phillies have the most runs. They lead by 3. 1-1 pitch. Hit a mile, but foul. Johnstone hit it deep, but pulled it foul. Ball one, strike 2 to Jay Bird. Jay is in the ball game because Hebner has a sore elbow, sore arm, sore shoulder. or something on the left arm. Next pitch by Atkinson is low, 2-2 to count. Houston has gone ahead of the Giants 7-5. They're in the 7th inning. 2-2 pitch. He's outside. Full count to Jay. Little right-hander, Bill Atkinson. 3-2 delivery. Ball 4, he lost him. Johnstone's on again. Third time Johnstone has been on first. One down, the batter, Garry Maddox. Gary's 0 for 3, batting .276. Atkinson will pitch out of the stretch. Checks the runner. Maddox takes a called strike. Johnstone leads off first. Phillies leading 7-4, 6th inning. Here's a loop for right field. He might drop for base hit. It does. Johnstone rounding second. He's going to third. Throw from right field is cut off. So the Phillies on Maddox's single have runners on first and third. One down. And the batter's Bob Boone. Johnstone at third, Maddox at first. One out. That was Maddox's first base hit in the ball game. Everybody in the lineup now is hit except Larry Bowa. Booney is officially 1 for 2 with a single. It's a foul ball right off his foot. That'll hurt. Strike one on Boone. Boone has scored a run today. He's hitting .283. Phillies with a chance to get on the board again. Runners at first and third, one down. 7-4 lead, 6th inning. Atkinson ready. The pitch. Booney, ground ball to short, might be a double play. Second for one, the ball is dropped. Everybody's safe. Johnstone scores. Maddox going to third as the ball tickles into center field. Now, Frias will get an error, I believe. That was a double play ball and a break for the Phillies. And the Phillies now lead at 8-4. That looked like a lead pipe cinch double play ball. Boone will get a run batted in. Johnstone scores. Maddox all the way to third. And the Phillies lead at 8-4 with runners at first and third. Still one out. Here's Ted Sizemore. Sizemore, 1 for 2 with a single. Takes a called strike. Sizemore batting .278. The runners lead off. Looks like a squeeze bunt. It was, but it's foul. Phillies going with a squeeze bunt, but Sizemore fouled it off. He had to reach way outside, try to bunt that ball. He did get a piece of it. So Sizemore now has 2 strikes on him. Well, the run's getting a little tighter here, and Danny Ozark going for trying to get an extra run. Strike 2 the count to Sizemore. Pitch in the way. Struck him out on a bad pitch. Sizemore a big cut, but he strikes out. Gene Garber's going to bat for himself. So 2 away now. Garber likes to hit. He doesn't get to hit very often. He's 0 for 4 in the year. 2 on, 2 outs. Atkinson's pitch. Inside, ball 1. Bill's leading 8-4 now, bottom of the 6th. Atkinson sets, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Garber fouls it off. Ball one, strike one to Garber. May I be so bold to ask you, Andy? Never mind. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball towards first. Perez has it. Steps on the bag. Garber's out and that'll retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on. At the end of 6 full. It's the Phillies 8, the Expos 4. Tommy Hutton will will come in the ball game and play first base for the Phillies, take Johnstone out of the game. The fans were going to have the world's largest orchestra out here on Sunday night, August 21st, conducted by the great Fred Waring. Phillies will play Houston. Now, that is Sunday night, a 7 p.m. start, August 21st. All fans welcome to bring their own instruments to the ballpark. And those of you who do not have an instrument will receive a complimentary kazoo when you enter the park. Sunday night, August 21st, Fred Waring will conduct the world's largest orchestra. How about that? Andy Musser, 7th inning. Andy, what instrument will you bring to the ballpark?
I never really learned to play one. I took piano as a kid, Rich, but I don't think I ought to bring one of them down here. Here's Andre Dawson. Dawson has 2 hits and 3 times up this afternoon. Right-handed batter swings and misses at Garber's first pitch, strike one.
You look like an old harmonica type to me.
I suppose I could. That's not too far from a kazoo. Same technique, right?
You could carry it anyway.
Yeah. Swing and a miss at a high pitch by Garber. No balls and 2 strikes. Dawson to be followed by Perez and Carter. The Expos again behind by 4 runs. They did trail by as many as 5. Here's Garber's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Andre Dawson. Second strikeout for Garber.
That was a big man on the Hughes harp, they call it. You ever seen one of those?
I don't think so.
Nice little instrument.
Can you still play it?
Our engineer, Dave Toy, he knows what they are.
You didn't lose your technique somewhere along the line.
No, I can play it.
Perez takes a strike. Tony is 1 for 3, an RBI double in the first inning. He's grounded into a double play and flied out to right field. Here's one fouled at the plate. Garber ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes to Perez. The Expos have announced that Dave Cash left the ball game because of a sprained right ankle. Dave got the only hit that Garber has given up since coming on in a jam last inning. Here's a pop-up and foul ground wide of first. Tommy Hutton comes over, but that one goes into the crowd. Count stays at 0-2 on Tony Perez. Jim Kaat is still the pitcher of record for the Phillies. He worked into the 6th inning. And the Expos starter, Jackie Brown, is on the hook. There's the 0-2 to Perez, and a changeup is over for a called third strike. Garber has gotten such good mileage out of that pitch, and here he gets a strikeout. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. In the 7th, Gary Carter, the hitter. He's 1 for 3, a double, and he scored a run last inning. Phillies lead the ball game 8-4. There have been 25 hits in the ball game. Phillies have the margin by 1, 13-12. Breaking ball over to Carter, strike 1. Expos have lost 5 of the last 6 games. They're still in 5th place in the National League East. Garber misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. They trail the Phillies starting action today by 15.5. Here's the 1-1 to Carter, and it's a strike on the inside corner. He started to go after it, then held up, and it was a called strike, and Carter is unhappy about the call. Walks away from the plate, shaking his head. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garber's count on Gary Carter. Phils will be back here at the ballpark a week from tomorrow night. Up against the Houston Astros. Here's the pitch to Carter, low inside, 2-2. Just that weekend series, a Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon series, and then the Phils are back on the road for another week. So you better get your tickets for that series. Swing and a miss by Carter. Gene Garber strikes out the side. Expos out in the 7th inning at the end of 6 1/2. Phillies lead it 8-4. Bake McBride followed by Larry Bowa and Mike Schmidt. Well, our flagship station, KYW, has honored us all here in the booth today with KYW T-shirts, very similar to the ones that Rich wears every day.
I'm wondering, Andy, why KYW in their wisdom gave you guys 3 and only gave me 1.
Probably know that your kids are out of the T-shirt stage. They expect you to don that one, Rich. Here's Atkinson's pitch to McBride. A breaking ball is high and outside, ball 1. I guess you'd have to say that's a bright yellow, wouldn't you?
A little orange in it.
Eye-catching.
Be the worst-looking shirt I've ever seen.
Like I said, just like the others you wear. Here's one fouled into the dugout.
The only thing worse than getting 1 of these would be getting 3.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to McBride. I was going to keep him, but I guess the way you put it, we ought to send him back. Here's the 1-1 to Bake. Fly ball out of play along the third base side. 1-2.
Just kidding, of course. Old KYW.
Got to have a sense of humor, right? Phillies on top in this ball game, 8-4. Bake has already hit a home run today. He's also had a single. He's also had a walk. Here's a pitch outside. 2-2 to McBride. He's also driven in a run on a sacrifice fly. So officially right now, Bake is 2 for 2. Inside, ball 3. The count is full to McBride. Atkinson winds. Here's the right-hander's pitch. It's a line drive to right field. Retreating is Mejias. It's over his head. It bounds against the wall. McBride on his way to second base. Here's the throw. He is safe. Bake McBride shoots it over the head of Mejias in right field, and he's on second base. A double for Bake McBride, his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Well, Mejias lost that ball. He got a bad jump on it. By the time he picked it up, it was over his head. Bake's had a good day. He's only a triple away from hitting for the cycle.
And he is certainly more capable than most of getting a triple with his speed. Well, that's the 14th hit for the Phillies. And the 26th hit in the ball game. Here's Larry Bowa. Larry, the only Phil who hasn't participated in the fireworks. Larry is 0 for 4. Bill Atkinson, the 3rd Montreal pitcher. They've all been right-handers. Ground ball, foul, wide of first base. Strike 1 to Bowa. Jackie Brown started, but he didn't make it through the 2nd inning. Don Stanhouse relieved him and worked 3 2/3 innings. And now the Phillies looking at right-hander Bill Atkinson for the 2nd inning in a row and the 2nd day in a row. He was in one of last night's games. Billy DeMars calls Larry Bowa over for a brief chat.
Larry might have missed the sign. I don't know. He might have had him running. He was trying to pull the ball, try to move McBride over to 3rd.
One strike the count on Bowa. McBride at second base. Phillies have failed to score in only 2 innings today. Here's the pitch to Larry. Swing and a foul back. 0-2 to Bowa. Bill Atkinson has the sign from Gary Carter. Here's his pitch to Larry. It's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Remember to join us tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 from Chicago. Phillies against the Cubs. It'll be left-hander Steve Carlton pitching against Steve Renko. Boa takes a pitch outside, 2-2. Carlton had a lead in a game that was rained out earlier this year at Wrigley Field, a game in which Tim McCarver hit a home run, and it went 4.5 innings. The Cubs did not get their at-bats in the 5th, and so Carlton would actually be a 17-game winner right now, if that one counted. Here's Larry Bowa, and a one-hopper through on the right side. It goes into center field, a base hit. Bake McBride will come on in to score. Bowa tries for 2. He's safe. Phillies lead the ball game 9-4.
Well, the Expos got tangled up a little bit there in the outfield. Dawson and Mejias made some contact, and by the time they got separated, Bowa took the extra base.
So Larry has his first hit of the day, and all of the Phillies who started this ball game had hits. RBI number 35 for Bowa, and the Phillies again lead it by 5. Here's Mike Schmidt. Mike is 2 for 4. Mike has scored 2 runs, singled twice, also struck out. Pitch to Mike is high, ball 1. Phillies with 15 hits. The Expos have a dozen. The only other game this afternoon at Candlestick, Houston leading the Giants 7-5 in the 8th inning. Here's a pitch inside. Schmidt has to duck under. A 2-0 the count. Still nobody out of the inning. McBride started with a double. He scored as Larry Bowa got a ground ball double. Here's a called strike to Schmidt. 2-1 the count. There have been 4 errors in this ball game, 3 by Montreal. The Phillies win this game today. They will even their series with the Expos on the season, 4 wins aside. Called strike on the outside corner to Schmidt. Count level 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt. Schmidt takes high, ball 3, and the count goes full. Greg Luzinski on deck. And the Phillies leading this ball game 9-4. Atkinson at the belt. Here's his next pitch to Mike. It is drilled to right field. Mejias is there, and he catches it. Tagging at second base is Bowa. He will advance to third base. That ball was really hit hard by Schmidt, but Mejias was paying it in the right spot for the out. Let's pause here for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio, 1060 Philadelphia. AccuWeather calling for partly cloudy skies, warm and humid tonight with a low temperature about 72 degrees.
The hand for Greg Luzinski as he stands in at the plate. That's the first out of the inning. Bowa at third base, and here's the ball, 2 for 3 with a walk. Pitch to Greg. Changeup over for a strike. Luzinski has an RBI today, his 91st of the season. Tommy Hutton is on deck. It'll be his first at bat of the ball game. Greg takes outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies trying to win their 8th straight. It would tie their season's longest winning streak. Here's the 1-1. A hard hit ball to right field. Mejias heading toward the line on the run. He gloves that ball. Tagging at third base is Bowa. Here's the throw to the plate. Larry scores. Phillies lead the ball game 10-4. RBI number 92 for Luzinski. Phillies have a 6-run lead for the first time. Two outs. Here's Tommy Hutton. Base is now empty. Phillies scored 6 runs off Brown, 1 off Stanhouse, and now 3 off Atkinson. Pitch to the left-handed batter. Over for a strike, a breaking ball. Tommy is batting .229. 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. Tommy swings and fouls one over top the Phillies dugout. Atkinson gets the jump on Tommy Hutt. No balls and 2 strikes. Hutton came in the game defensively in the 7th inning, playing for Jay Johnstone. Only in the 4th and the 5th innings did the Phillies fail to score today. Tommy Hutton swings and foul tips it. Carter hangs on. Tommy is a strikeout victim, and the inning is over. But the Phillies get 2 runs in the 7th. They do it on 2 hits and nobody left on base. Through 7, the Phillies lead 10-4. 550 Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08003. This game to the 8th inning, and here's Harry Callis.
All right, thanks, Andy. Larry Parrish leading off. A fly ball deep left center field. Maddox and Martin both there, and they let it drop between them, and it bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. Jerry Martin, who had just come into the game defensively for Greg Luzinski and Garry Maddox, were both there. They got their signals crossed, and it fell between them. Bounced over the fence. And it will be scored as a double, but the ball should have been caught. 1 down. A rather runner at second base, nobody out, and that'll bring up Sam Mejias. Mejias is singled on the infield, grounded out, and singled. Second hit given up by Garber since he came on for Jim Kaat. Here's a pitch to Mejias. He takes low for a ball. Phillies lead 10-4. We're in the 8th inning. Parrish at second base. The pitch to Mejias. Swing, bouncing ball up the middle. Boa's going to have to hurry. He does. Gets Mejias by a step, and Parrish moves to third. 1 down. Parrish at third base, and that'll bring up Chris Speier. Speier is lined out to right, singled, and walked. Garber came in the 6th inning for starter Jim Kaat. It's Kaat's game to win. Garber's to save if the Phillies can hang on, leading 10-4. A lot of hits in this ball game. Phillies with 15, the Expos with 13. Here's the pitch to Speier, and it's low for a ball. Del Unser has moved into the on-deck circle to bat for Bill Atkinson. Now the pitch to Speier is a little bit outside for a ball. It's 2-0. Garber ready. Here's the stretch. 2-0 pitch to Speier. Low for a ball, and he falls behind him 3-0. Paid attendance this afternoon, 30,267 here at Veterans Stadium. Phillies back home a week from tomorrow night against the Houston Astros. 3-0 pitch is over for a strike call. It's 3-1 to Speier. Garber's stretch. 3-1 pitch. Low ball 4. He walked him. So the Expos have runners at first and third. First walk given up by Garber, and Del Unser coming out to pinch hit for Bill Atkinson. Unser hitting .263, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Larry Parrish at third base. At first base, Chris Speier, 1 out. Here's a pitch to Unser. Check swing, looper into shallow left. Jerry Martin coming on. He makes the catch, and the runners will hold. Hunter checked his swing. The ball looped into shallow left field. Caught by Jerry Martin. 2 down. That'll bring on Pepe Frias. He came in for Dave Cash when Cash sprained his right ankle on a base hit over the head of Bake McBride. A little confusion on the base paths. Dave had to put on the brakes and go back to first and jammed his ankle. He had to leave the ball game. Frias batting for the first time. He's hitting .233. Expo runners first and third, 2 outs. The pitch to Frias, waves and misses at a good changeup. 1 strike to count to Pepe Frias. Frias is switch hitter, batting left against Garber. Here's the pitch to him. On the outside corner for a strike called. And Gino's quickly in front of him, 0-2. The 2-strike pitch. Low and inside with a slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Frias. Phillies have 10 runs, 15 hits. The Expos 4 runs and 13 hits. Garber's 1-2 pitch. A change bounced up the middle. Sizemore can't get it. It's off his glove and trickles into shallow center. Even had Sizemore made the play, it would have been a tough force at second base. Would have had to make it very, very quickly. A high bounding ball. We'll have to wait and see how they score it. Parrish scores, and it's now a 10-5 ball game.
Well, they almost have to call that a base hit.
They did. A base hit for Frias. Give Frias a run batted in. Here's Warren Cromartie. He is 2 out of 4. Pitch to him. Swing and a fly ball, shallow right field. Bake McBride comes in and makes the catch. For the Expos in the 8th, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's Phil's 10 and Montreal 5.
The winning combination in Frankfurters you Phillies fans should know about. It comes with all Acme's Lancaster blend beef or meat franks.
KYW News Time 6:42.
New pitcher for the Expos coming in is left-hander Will McEnany. Phil Atkinson taken out for a pinch hitter. McEnany appearing in game number 51 on the year. He's won 2, lost 4. And he's recorded 3 saves. His earned run mark is 4.04. Garry Maddox will be the first one to face him, to be followed by Bob Boone and then Ted Sizemore. Phillies lead this game 10-5, try to win their 8th game in a row. Win for the Phils would put them in front of the Chicago Cubs in National League East by 3 games. The Cubs are idle. Pittsburgh 3.5 back. They are playing tonight at home against New York. And the Phillies will go to Chicago for a road trip, 4-game series there, 3-game series at Montreal, back home here a week from tomorrow night. Houston Astros will be in for a weekend series. Friday night, the 19th at 8:05, Halter Top night, free Halter Top for all ladies in attendance. And on Saturday night, it'll be the annual Old Timers game, August 20th. And Sunday afternoon, the series finale. Sunday night, rather, not Sunday afternoon. Sunday night game at 7 o'clock. Here's Garry Maddox, and he takes a fastball for a strike call. Gary's 1 out of 4. A game on the 21st, a p.m. game. Here's the pitch to Garry. Loops a foul back out of play. 0-2 to Maddox. The only Sunday night game of the year, and it will not be televised. 2 strikes to count to Maddox. Pitch on the way to Garry is high for a ball. 1-2. One-two pitch, way wide. 2-2 to count to Maddox. Phillies scored early, got 2 in the first, 4 in the second. Pitch on the way, hard ground ball, base hit to left field for Garry Maddox. So Maddox gets his second hit for the Phillies, hit number 16 in the ball game. That'll bring up Bob Boone, who is 1 out of 4. He has scored a run. Maddox first base, nobody out. The pitch to Boone. He swings, he chases a high fastball. 1 strike to count to Boone. McEnany stretches his pitch. Swing and a foul ball down the right field side. Back over the picnic area and out of play. 0-2 to count to Boone. McEnany has his sign. The 2-strike pitch. Swing, base hit center field. Maddox will stop at second base. And the Phillies have their first 2 men on base here in the 8th. Boone singles up the middle for his second hit. Phil's now with 17 hits in the game. That'll bring up Ted Sizemore. Size is 1 for 3, has walked, singled, flied to right, and struck out. Phillies leading this game 10-5. Here's the pitch to Sizemore. Waves and misses at a curveball. 1 strike to Ted Sizemore. Gene Garber on deck. One strike pitch, fastball over for a strike call. McEnany has a jump on Sizemore, 0-2. Maddox at second, he singled. Boone at first, he singled. 2-strike pitch. Swing, bouncing ball, tapped up the middle, takes a high hop, but Speier grabs, tagged second for 1. The relay in time for a double play. Sizemore grounds into a double play. Good play by Chris Speier. Got the force on Boone at second. And doubled up Size at first. Moving to third on the play, Garry Maddox. With 2 outs, it'll bring up pitcher Gene Garber. Garber grounded out in his only at bat. On the year, Gino has been at bat 5 times without a hit, but lifetime he's picked up some hits. Pitch to him as a strike called. Garber came into this season 6 for 27. Pitch to him, line foul behind the Phillies dugout. Count 0-2 to Gene Garber. Pitch to Gino is low for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Maddox third base, 2 outs, bottom half of the 8th. One-two pitch, breaking ball bouncing up there, and it's 2-2. Two and 2 to Gene Garber. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 called, struck him out. Garber called out on the strikes. Phillies down in the 8th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 9th inning with the score, Phil's 10, Expos 5. Now time for a tasty break.
While the teams are changing sides, why not make a scene change of your own? And straight to the kitchen for a fresh-baked Tasty Cake chocolate or Tasty Cake vanilla cupcake. Cream-filled buttercream or cream-filled chocolate cupcake. You'll discover a delicious taste that can come only from the good things Tasty Cake fresh-baked into each and every family packed and baked. To make them all the very best there is.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. All the fruits are perfect one.
Armand Solitano for it in. You know, last year, I fell in love with the Phillies. All year, they gave me so many moments of joy. And when I love something, I want to be next to it. I want to be as close as I can. So they won't show me a piece of lead in the parking lot to bring my house. I bought the rest of them, right next to the stadium. So they give me my van, they give my food, and we can get together after the game. Will you please join us and share a glass of wine?
9th inning, last chance for the Expos. Phillies leading by a score of 10-5. Andre Dawson will lead off from Montreal. To be followed by Tony Perez and then Gary Carter. Game at San Francisco is over. Houston beat the Giants 7-5. Dan Larson, the winner in relief, his first win of the year. The loser was Gary Lavelle, also in relief. Fans are applauding the National League Eastern Division standings being flashed on the board. Of course, the Phillies on top in the East with a win this afternoon. It would be a 3-game lead over the Chicago Cubs, who are idle. Birthday wishes tonight to Harold Ream in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and Janice Faber in Lancaster celebrating her 17th. Here's a pitch to Dawson. He takes low for a ball. Andre Dawson is 2 out of 4. Hitting at 283. Pitch to him. Swing, hard ground, base hit center field. Dawson gets his 3rd hit of the ball game. The Dawson at first base with nobody out. That'll bring up Tony Perez. Perez is double, grounded into a double play, flied out to right, and has struck out. Tony knocked in a run. Here's a pitch to Perez. Foul back on a play. 1 strike to Tony Perez. That'll be the Phils and the Cubs tomorrow afternoon here on KYW and the Phillies radio network. From Wrigley Field, Steve Carlton going against Steve Renko. Pitch to Perez. Fly ball center field. Maddox right there. Makes the grab. Perez is out. And on the play, Dawson holds at first base. 1 away. That'll bring up Gary Carter, the catcher. Carter is 1 out of 4, is grounded out, fouled out, doubled and scored a run, and struck out. Phillies on their way to their 8th win in a row. Swept the Dodgers prior to this series. Here's a pitch to Carter. Long, towering fly to deep left. Jerry Martin back near the fence, makes the catch. Carter is out on a deep fly ball to left field. 2 down, and that'll bring up Larry Parrish. Parrish has fly to right, fouled out, twice doubled. He has scored a couple of runs. Stretched by Garber. And the pitch is outside for a ball. One-0 pitch. Broken back ground ball, nubbed to second base. Sizemore throws. Ball game is over. Phillies have won 8 in a row. For the Expos in the ninth, no runs to hit, no errors, and one left. Final score, Phillies winning it by a score of 10-5. And this afternoon's winning pitcher is Jim Kaat. He wins a case of Tasty Cake for him and wife Linda. As the Phillies now won 8 in a row and lead the Eastern Division by 3 full games.